Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to be going over my predictions for Spider-Man No Way Home. And this is basically going to be a breakdown of what I think the plot is going to be like. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright then. So, first of all, we'll begin with Matt Murdock, and he's obviously going to be Peter Parker's lawyer. Well, if he actually ends up being in the movie, which is highly likely. Whether he actually appears in full costume as Daredevil is yet to be seen. But we know that Doctor Strange is going to cast a spell, and for some reason this spell is going to go wrong, and it'll end up bringing through loads of Spider-Man villains from loads of different universes, like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin, and Dr. Octopus, and we'll delve into the other villains later on in the video. But essentially, the reason I think that Doctor Strange's spell is going to go wrong is because of what Sylvie did in the TV show Loki, when she killed the variant of Kang. Because it completely messed the timeline up. Well, not just the timeline of one universe, but most probably every single universe. So the bad thing is that Doctor Strange accidentally brings through all these villains, but the good thing is that he also brings through the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man to help Tom Holland's Spider-Man out. And it's highly likely that Sandman will be in this movie, but he might actually be a good guy. Because if you remember, right at the end of Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, you had, like, a redemption arc for Sandman, essentially. It's highly unlikely that they'll bring back James Franco as Harry Osborn. Because I think he's actually been cancelled in real life. I'm not sure what for, but we're not going into that anyway, because it's more likely that Dane DeHaan's Harry Osborn will be in the movie. If Venom ends up being in this movie, it's highly likely that it's going to be the Tom Hardy incarnation and not the incarnation from Spider-Man 3. Because, like, that version was not popular at all, so why would anybody want to see that version back? Mysterio could show up in this movie. Because if Doctor Strange, like, somehow manages to make the spell successful right at the end of the film, then people will go back to how they were before, like, not knowing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So Mysterio will be really pissed off that all of his hard work didn't pay off. To be honest, I can't even fully remember if Mysterio actually died or not. I may have to watch the movie again, like the Far From Home one. But the thing is, he could have faked his death, though. You know that Mysterio is the master of illusions. I apologise if my voice is a bit annoying sometimes, but I've got a lot to get through today. Anyway, sorry. So, we know Scarlet Witch is going to be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, so she could potentially show up in Spider-Man No Way Home as well. It's not very likely, but it might happen. Who knows? So, It would be awesome if Felicity Jones showed up in full costume as Black Cat, because we already know in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 she played Felicia, and obviously Felicia Hardy becomes the Black Cat. For those of you who know that, who are familiar with the comics. Well, maybe you might have seen it in a cartoon instead, but anyway. Shout out to Benedict Cumberbatch, by the way. He's doing a fantastic job as Doctor Strange. He did a fantastic job as Sherlock as well. Anyway. Well, he was even good in that thing where he played that Brexit bloke, but anyway, that's going slightly off topic. So apparently Rhino might show up in the movie, and even Lizard as well. I thought Lizard died though, but maybe he'll be taken from a period in time before he died. That's most likely what will happen. For those who don't know, the actor who plays Kurt Connor's Lizard is Rhys Ifans. He also plays Xenophilius Lovegood in the Harry Potter films, and he also plays Spike in Notting Hill. Just a random fact for you. Anyway, moving on. And essentially, I reckon Scorpion and Vulture will break out of jail or prison, whatever you want to call it. And basically, a portal will appear. They'll go through it, and it will lead to the river where Doc Ock was drowning, and they'll save Doc Ock. But the thing is, like, Doc Ock will probably pretend to still be a villain when really he's actually turned good. Because, do you remember, like, right at the end of Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, before Doc Ock fell into the water, it's like he turns good? Personally, I hope that Shocker comes back, but this time he's in his actual proper costume from the comics, and not that shitty one that he was in Spider-Man Homecoming. This time it seems like, Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to have yellow lightning instead of blue lightning. I'm not sure what the explanation is going to be for that, unless it's a variant of the same character. I'm not sure. But yeah, I guess the yellow lightning is more loyal to the comics. And also, I'm hoping that Jamie Foxx will be wearing the Electro costume from the comics. Do I think that Carnage will be in this movie? Probably not. Because Venom will probably kill him in Venom Let There Be Carnage. And also, we don't even know, like, if Venom Let There Be Carnage will actually come out in October as planned, because it might get delayed until bloody January. There are rumours circulating the internet about that. We know that Zendaya will be reprising her role as MJ, and Marisa Tomei will be reprising her role as Aunt May. So, does that mean that Kirsten Dunst is going to show up as Mary Jane, and Rosemary Harris is going to show up as Aunt May? Probably not, because there's already enough characters in this movie, so I'm not sure if they will be able to sandwich them in. I'm not even sure if Rosemary Harris is still alive, to be honest. I didn't really research it that much. But, you know, if Venom 2 gets delayed until January, that would mean that Morbius would get delayed until God knows when, because Morbius is still slated for a January release at the present time. I mean, if you're one of those people who is still worried about COVID, and that's why you're not going back to the cinema, I mean, come on, stop being a wimp. I mean, look, you can wear masks in the foyer. You can wear masks all the way to your seat. You can even wear masks when you're sitting down, if you want to. Personally, I don't. Once I'm in my seat, I take it off. Because Well, I have to eat and drink, that's why. I've got to have me popcorn. Yep, Rosemary Harris, the original Aunt May from the Tobey Maguire movies. She's still alive, bloody 93 years old. Come on, she's got to be in the movie, because this is her last chance to appear in a Spider-Man movie. Even if it's like a short cameo, it would be better than nothing. So it's highly likely that J. Jonah Jameson will be back in this movie. We still don't know if it's the version from the Tobey Maguire universe, or whether it's like a brand new version that is going to be in the Tom Holland universe. But it's played by the same actor, obviously, J.K. Simmons, but it's like he looks slightly different in the Tom Holland film as opposed to the Tobey Maguire films. Honestly, it would be absolutely awesome if the Rosemary Harris Aunt May met the Marisa Tomei Aunt May. Hell, even throw in the Sally Fields one, why not? I mean, Rosemary Harris could basically say to Marisa Tomei, "Oh, you remind me of when I was younger." Sorry if I'm sounding like too much of a nerd in this video, but I am awesome, believe me. So anyway, back to the point I'm trying to make. So, if Daredevil ends up being in this movie, then it's highly likely that it's going to be the incarnation of Daredevil from the Netflix TV show, played by Charlie Cox. Now, it's highly likely that Kingpin from the Daredevil TV show could be in this movie as well. I mean, don't forget, right at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, we had Kingpin in that as well. But it wasn't played by the same actor, so yeah, I'm not sure how they would fit Kingpin into this whole thing unless they involve the Sinister Six. Which brings me on to my next point. There's more than enough villains in the various Spider-Man universes to form the Sinister Six at this point. We know originally that Sony was planning to do a Sinister Six movie, but that got scrapped, so it looks like they're doing the Sinister Six in this Spider-Man film instead. Hopefully most of you have seen the No Way Home trailer by now. But for those who haven't, Wong will be starring in the film beside Doctor Strange. Now, we'll spend the last minute or so speaking about something a little bit different. This is a shot of the new Resident Evil movie that is coming out December of this year. It's called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, this is a shot of Leon and Claire. They look like they do in the Resident Evil 2 remake. Personally, I would have preferred it if Claire was wearing her costume from the original Resident Evil 2 back in the 90s. But there we go, we can't have it all. I mean, Kea Scodelario is perfect casting, by the way, because she's a sexy, intelligent woman, and you need a sexy, intelligent woman to play Claire Redfield, because that's what she's meant to be like. The mansion doesn't look too bad, and Chris's costume doesn't look too bad, but what the hell is Jill wearing? That costume is bland, I'm sorry, but it is. I mean, who is this? Is that Brad or Richard? Where's Barry?